So good day, nurses. Now let's start to discuss the different ear disorder. But before tayo mag-proceed sa different ear disorder, I would like to explain or to discuss first the anatomy and physiology of ear so that we can really understand the mechanism of the disease process. So when we say ear is the organ responsible for hearing and balance. And when we say ear, there are three major parts. What are those? We have your external ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. So these are the three major parts ng ear natin. Yung external, the middle, and inner. So this is the sample picture of our ear. So saan dito si external? Si external hanggang dito siya. Si middle, ito, at si inner ear. So yan yung hati nung ating three major parts. So ngayon we already know na kung ano yung three major parts. Ngayon isa-isahin naman natin kung ano yung mga different organ or parts na makikita natin sa ating ear. So let's start first with the letter J. Okay? So kita mo si letter J, your letter J, yaan yung tinatawag natin na auricle or the pinna. Okay? So ito si auricle or si pinna natin. So anong ginagawa ni auricle and pinna? Ito si auricle. Sabi niya, collects sound waves from the environment and funnels them into the external auditory canal. So ito, siya daw, kaya as you can see, di ba may mga folds yung ating mga ear. Kung makikita nyo dyan, may mga folds siya. Bakit? It captures kasi. Kina-capture niya yung sound na maita-travel doon sa ating harapan. Okay? Kaya nga kung mapapansin ninyo, mas naririnig nyo yung kausap ninyo kapag kaharap nyo compared kapag katalikod nyo. Kasi nga, yung kapag kaharap na yung kausap mo, dadaretso lang dito yung sound wave, ika-capture niya at dadalhin niya yan ngayon sa may external auditory canal natin, which is siya yung letter I. Etong letter I natin, etong part na ito, that is the external auditory canal. Okay? Your external auditory canal. Pag sinabi natin external auditory canal, function is to conduct sound waves toward the tympanic membrane, and it also contains gland that produces earwax to protect the ear. So dito sa may ating external auditory canal, may mga makikita tayong glands dyan, which is sila yung nagproproduce ng earwax or ng cerumen. So bakit ba mahalaga yung earwax? Diba tinatanggal natin to, pero hindi natin alam na mas maganda or napaka-importante nitong function ng earwax natin. Why? Bakit? Na-protect tayo. Okay, na-protect tayo doon sa mga microorganisms that might enter sa ating inner ear. So doon pa lang natatrap na yung mga foreign bodies or yung mga particles like dust, may insect na papasok, pwede na silang matrap doon sa earwax natin or sa cerumen natin. Kaya dito pa lang natatrap na sila, hindi na hinahayaan na mapunta sila sa middle ear natin. So that will be your external auditory canal. So yung sound waves kinotch ng ating auricle or ng pinna, ngayon pinasa niya kay external auditory canal. Papunta na yan kay ating tympanic membrane. Okay? Your tympanic membrane, Okay, your tympanic membrane are also known as your eardrum. Okay, your eardrum. So, si tympanic membrane natin, para saan naman yan? So, function vibrates when sound wave hits it and converting sound energy into mechanical movement. So ngayon, una, 'di ba? Yung sound waves, nako. Okay, yung sound waves, pupunta yan dito sa ating auricle, ipapasa niya kay ating external auditory canal, at ngayon pupunta yan kay tympanic membrane to convert yung sound waves into vibration or yung tinatawag natin na mechanical movement. So from sound wave to vibration, yun na yung gagawin ng ating tympanic membrane. So yan, ito yung tatlong parts ng ating external ear. Now let's proceed to the middle ear. So pag sinabi nating middle ear, ito naman na yung portion na yan. So anong mga organs or parts na makikita natin sa middle ear natin? So sa middle ear natin, meron tayong tatlong bones. Okay? So we have 3 bones na makikita dito sa ating middle ear. So etong bones na ito, these are the smallest bone na matatagpuan natin sa human body. So ano yung mga yun? So A, B, D. So kung makikita nyo dito, etong A, B, and D. So ano tong mga ito natin? First, we have your malus. Okay, your malus. Second one, your incus. Your third one is the stapes. Okay, so your malus, also known as hammer. Your incus, also known as your anvil. And your stapes, also known as stirrups. Stirrup. Okay, so A, B, D. These are the 3 main, what do you call this one? The 3 smallest bone na matatagpuan natin sa ating human, or sa ating katawan. So ano itong mga tatlong ito? So these 3 bones are also known as ossicles. Okay? Itong tatlong bone na to, ossicles ang tawag dyan. So, isa-isahin natin sila. Your malus attached to the tympanic membrane and receive vibration from it. So, ngayon, yung from tympanic membrane, ipapasa niya ngayon yan kay malus, yung vibration. After nyan, dadalhin yan kay incus, which is incus connect malus to stapes. Okay? So ngayon, dinala na yung vibration kay stapes. Stapes is the smallest bone in the human body and connects to the oval window of the cochlea. Okay? Ito na, papasok naman tayo sa may tinatawag natin na inner ear. Si cochlea natin. Okay? So yan, si stapes natin, nakakonect yan kay cochlea, which is si cochlea part na yan ng inner ear natin. Okay? So yan yung ating ossicles, the 3 smallest bone in the body. So next natin we have your eustachian tube. Your eustachian tube, ito yan si letter G. Okay? Si letter G nyo, yan si eustachian tube. Your eustachian tube ay nakakonect yan sa may nasopharynx natin. That's why kapag kayo ay sinisipon, feeling ninyo na bibingi din kayo. Bakit? Dahil nga dito kay ating eustachian tube. Because eustachian tube connected yan sa ating nasopharynx. Kaya kapag barado ang ilong, barado din ang tenga mo. So, that is your eustachian tube, which is part pa rin siya ng ating middle ear. So, ito yung dahilan kung bakit prone ang mga bata sa tinatawag natin na otitis media. Bakit? Dahil dun sa mga gatas. Dahil short lang ang kanilang eustachian tube, kapag once na dumedede ang isang bata, pwedeng na-drain yung milk dito sa may pumapasok sa nasopharynx, pumapasok sa eustachian tube, kaya that can lead to bacterial invasion or growth. Kaya nagkakaroon ng otitis media ang mga bata. Okay? So next natin, we have your semicircular canal. So, si semicircular canal natin, itong si letter C, okay, yan. Your semicircular canal, dyan na natin makikita yung tinatawag natin na cochlea. Okay? Your letter C, that is your semicircular canal. Your semicircular canal. Which is dito natin makikita yung tinatawag natin na cochlea. Okay? Na-connected na yan sa ating brain. Which is dito sa may ating semicircular canal, may makikita tayo dito na fluid. Itong fluid na ito, dapat stagnant lang yan. Hindi dapat yan gumagalaw. Na kapag once na itong fluid na yan ay nagkaroon ng wave o paggalaw, that's the time na magkakaroon tayo ng problem sa ating balance. Kaya nga kung mapapansin ninyo, kapag yung iniikot-ikot nyo yung ulo ninyo ng yung nag-headbanging ba kayo, yung pag nag-headbanging, or yung kapag sumasayaw ka tapos iniikot-ikot mo yung hair mo, finiflip mo, ganyan, di ba? After nun parang nawawalan ka ng balance. Bakit? Dahil naaalog yung iyong fluid na present dito sa semicircular canal, which is responsible yan for balance. Kaya nga ang ear natin is hindi lang siya for hearing and also for balance because of the fluid that present in our semicircular canal. So that is the brief anatomy and physiology of our ear. Ayan o, semicircular canal involve maintaining balance and equilibrium by detecting rational movement of the head. Okay, so next natin, let's proceed to the disorder. So the first disorder, we have your conductive hearing loss. Pag sinabi natin conductive hearing loss, this is reversible. Okay, this is reversible. Bakit naging reversible ang ating conductive hearing loss? Okay, so bakit siya naging reversible? Because your conductive hearing loss, ang pinaka-cause niyan, okay, ang pinaka-cause kung bakit nagkakaroon ng hearing loss ay because of blockage. Okay, may blockage. Ano yung mga possible blockage na yan? Una, pwedeng may impacted cerumen. Okay, merong yung matigas na earwax. Okay, that is the impacted cerumen. Sir, bakit nagkakaroon? Remember, kapag once na conductive hearing loss yan, ang problem kasi natin kapag conductive hearing loss, the sound waves are blocked from reaching the inner ear. Remember that the sound wave, diba? Yung sabi natin kanina, sound wave the sound wave will convert into vibration by the tympanic membrane. And this vibration, pupunta yan sa ating cochlea and doon mako-convert yan into impulse. At yan ay dadalhin sa brain to analyze kung anong sound yung pinaparating sa iyong tenga. Okay? So ngayon, eto, tignan natin yung ear mo. So for example, ito yung ear natin, nagkaroon dito ng impacted cerumen. Okay, so ngayon, dumaan yung sound wave. Ang problem, hindi makakapasok yan na mabuti kasi may occlusion. Okay, may occlusion dyan. Kaya nga, pagdating dito, mahina na lang. Mahina yung sound wave na makakarating sa tympanic membrane, kaya hindi ganun kalakasan yung vibration, kaya may problem sa hearing loss. Okay, sorry, may problem sa hearing. That is your conductive hearing loss. Next natin, cause niya is your external otitis. Nagkakaroon ng inflammation sa may external ear natin. So, bakit? Kapag once na may inflammation, may constriction, may narrowing ng ating external auditory canal. Kaya mahihirapan na naman pumasok yung sound wave, hindi na naman siya mako-convert into vibration at walang mako-convert or hihina yung ating electrical impulse na isi-send sa brain, kaya hindi nadidinig ng ating pasyente kung ano yung sinasabi. Next, your otitis media. Pag sinabing otitis media, inflammation ng middle ear natin. Nagkakaroon tayo ng narrowing. So sabihin na lang natin, maganda yung pasok ng sound wave, but the problem is in converting the sound wave into vibration. Hindi ganun mako-convert o hindi mako-convert ng mabuti yung sound wave na pumasok sa external auditory canal mo. Ang problema, andito yung problem natin. Kaya hindi ganun kaganda yung vibration that can lead to hearing loss. Next natin, we have your otosclerosis. 'Di ba? Parang ito yung osteoporosis. 'Di ba? Ano pa? Your problems in the bone. Remember, meron tayong tatlo dun, 'di ba, na smallest bone in the body. So ngayon, kapag nagkaroon ng degeneration doon sa buto, magiging marupok yung buto, hindi niya transfer yung vibration na pinadala ni tympanic membrane, kaya walang gaanong madidetect yung ating cochlea or wala siyang mako-convert into electrical impulse dahil nga nagkaroon ng degeneration dun sa ating tatlong buto sa ating tenga. Okay? So next natin, we have your clinical manifestation. Your clinical manifestation, better hearing in noisy environment. So mas maganda daw yung hearing niya sa mga maiingay na environment. Bakit? Kasi nga, malakas yung sound. Okay? Kaya mas nadidinig ni pasyente. Next is speaking softly. Why? Because bone conduction is intact. Okay? So, yung pagsalita niya very soft kasi akala niya malakas na yun. Pero hindi pa pala. And next, hearing loss in an affected ear. So, there will be a hearing loss doon sa may affected ear natin. Okay? So, next natin, what are the management? So, next management natin will be the cerumen removal. Bakit? Wax build up physically block sound waves from reaching the tympanic membrane. Kaya ang gawin mo, tanggalin mo yung earwax para maganda yung flow ng sound waves at mako-convert siya into vibration. Next, antibiotic for infection. Bakit? Diba? What they call this one? Otitis media. Okay? Diba? Fluid and inflammation in the middle ear prevent efficient transmission of sound. Kapag once kasi na may, 'di ba sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, otitis media because of the accumulation of milk doon sa may tenga or sa may eustachian tube ni baby. So ang problem natin doon, may fluid. Yung fluid na yun, yung narrowing na yan, pwedeng i-block niya yung pag-transfer or transmit ng sound waves into vibration. Kaya magbigay ka ng antibiotic para mawala yung inflammation, gaganda yung flow. Okay? Next, surgical repair of the perforated tympanic membrane. Okay? A hole or tear in the eardrum disrupt its ability to vibrate, impairing sound conduction. It means that yung ating, di ba, tympanic membrane will convert the sound waves into vibration. And problem, may problema. May perforation doon sa tympanic membrane mo. Kaya nga, i-repair mo para mas gumanda yung ating sound vibration or yung conversion ng sound wave into vibration. And the next, your surgery for otosclerosis, yung tinatawag natin na stapedectomy. Paano naman tong stapedectomy natin? Your stapedectomy natin fixes the stapes bone, preventing its normal movement and necessary for sound transmission. 'Di ba your stapes natin, 'di ba yung stapes natin naka-connect yan sa may inner ear. So kung ang problem natin, meron tayong otosclerosis, hihina ngayon yung bone natin. Hindi niya magagawa yung transmission ng vibration sa ating inner ear. Kaya palitan mo yung ating yung buto or yung ating stapist. Okay, so these are the management for your conductive hearing loss. Next disorder natin, we have your sensory neural hearing loss. Anong pinagkaiba ni conductive hearing loss and your sensory neural hearing loss? Pag sinabi nating sensory neural, this is irreversible. Okay? Irreversible. Kanina, reversible. Ano naman ang problem natin dito sa ating sensory neural hearing loss? Ang problem dito, nagkakaroon ng what they call this one, nagkakaroon tayo ng damage to the inner ear or auditory nerve pathway. So, ang problem natin dito sa inner ear, walang obstruction, pero may damage or destruction sa inner ear. Remember that the inner ear, dyan na nakapapasa yung vibration para mapunta sa ating inner ear at ipapadala sa brain. And what are the causes? First, your prolonged noise exposure. Prolonged noise exposure damage the hair cells of the cochlea, which are non-regenerative, leading to permanent hearing loss. So doon sa sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina na inner ear, 'di ba? Sabi ko merong semicircular canal. Your semicircular canal, meron tayo diyang cochlea. Yung cochlea na 'yan, merong mga cochlear hair cells diyan. So, ang cochlear hair cells na yan, sila yung nagre-receive nung impulse at dadalhin yan kay brain. Ang problem natin, because of the prolonged noise exposure or yung mga malalakas na sound, okay, kapag gumagamit ka ng earphones, okay, pag lagi kang nakatapat sa mga speaker, yung hair cells natin ay nasisira. Okay, your hair cells or cochlear hair cells ay nasisira. Hindi sila regenerative. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila nare-regenerate. Pag once na nasira na yung mga cochlear hair cells natin, permanently na silang sira. Hindi na sila magkakaroon ng regeneration. Hindi na sila dadami pa, hindi na sila maaayos pa. Next natin, we have your aging or your presbycusis. The natural degeneration of the cochlear structure and auditory nerve fibers with age. Okay, there's a degeneration. Diba? Your wear and tear theory. Next, discontinuing ototoxic drugs. Diba? Ito yung mga sin natin, which is these drugs are toxic to the hair cells in the cochlea or auditory nerve. Sinisira nung mga sin natin, your sin is your streptomycin, ganyan na medications natin. These are ototoxic because sinisira niya yung mga cochlear hair cells natin. Pag nasira sila, wala na magta-transmit ng electrical impulse papunta sa brain that can lead to permanent hearing loss. Next, we have your head trauma. Okay? Your head trauma, head trauma, ano to? Can directly injure the cochlea or auditory nerve pathway. Okay? Pag may head trauma, nasisira, pwedeng ma-damage yung cochlear hair cells natin and even the, what they call this one, the auditory nerve. And next, your viral infection such as mumps and rubella. So, anong ginagawa naman ni mumps and rubella natin? Okay, your viruses can damage the inner ear structures, particularly during the fetal development or early childhood. Diba, nare-remember ninyo yung development ng organs ng mga bata which is happened during the 10th week age of gestation, 'di ba, your organogenesis. So kapag once na during that stage or during sa pregnancy nagkaroon ng viral infection katulad na lang ng mumps and rubella, And remember, hindi pa fully matured yung mga organs, kaya pwedeng masira nung virus yung ating inner ear, kaya wala ng vibration na matatransmit into electrical impulse. And what are the management? Yung management natin is prevention. Okay? Prevention, ano to? Ear protection, avoiding loud sound. Bakit? Prevent further damage to the cochlear hair cell. Discontinuing ototoxic drugs. Okay? Para hindi na masira ng ating mga medications yung ating inner ear or the cochlear hair cells. Hearing aids. Okay? So, take note class that your hearing aids can amplify. Ibig sabihin ng amplify, pinapalakas niya yung sound, but it cannot clear. Okay? Ibig sabihin, napapalakas siya pero hindi mo masasabi or hindi mo ma-assure na clear yung sound na ilalabas nung hearing aids. Pangpalakas lang siya pero hindi siya pangpa-clear. Okay? So kapag once na nagkaroon ng hearing aids yung pasyente mo, hindi lahat ng words ay pwede niyang marinig ng mabuti. Kasi pwedeng malakas siya pero hindi naman siya clear. And next, your cochlear implants. Okay? By bypassing the damaged hair cells and directly stimulate the auditory nerve. Okay? Instead na dadaan pa siya sa cochlear nerve mo, gagawa ka ng ibang daanan para makapunta siya agad sa may auditory nerve natin papunta sa utak. And the next, communication strategies like lip reading and sign language to support effective communication and social interaction. So, we're done with our second disorder. Next, proceed tayo sa autosclerosis na tinatawag natin. Your autosclerosis is the abnormal bone remodeling in the middle ear. Ito yung tatlo. Your tawag na yun, your malleus, incus, and stapes. Nagkakaroon na ng problema dito sa tatlo na ito. So, usually, what are the possible risk factor? First, we have the genetic factors. Okay, that can lead to stay fixation, preventing transmission of sound vibration to the inner ear. Next, women. Bakit? Because of the hormonal influences. Anong hormone yon? Your estrogen. Bakit? 'Di ba? Your estrogen, nagkakaroon tayo dito nung tinatawag natin na bone calcification. Okay? Yung mga buto, nilalabas na yung estrogen. It decreases the calcium absorption. Kaya humihina yung mga buto because of estrogen. Okay? Next, Caucasian. Okay? Caucasian, yung kapag once na meron kang, what they call this one? Meron kang race. Ito yung race mo, Caucasian. Okay? Next, your signs and symptoms. We have the gradual progressive hearing loss, constant tinnitus, your Schwartz sign, paracusis of will, your Rhine test, and or the Weber test. Si Rhine test natin or your Weber test, ito yung may ginagamit kang tuning fork. Tapos yung tuning fork, itatap mo yun, then magkakaroon ng vibration. Then ilalagay mo sa top ng head mo. And then may maririnig ka na vibration, di ba? So kapag once na hindi mo narinig yung vibration or magkaiba yung lakas na naririnig mo, may possibility na may problema doon sa may isang tenga mo. Okay, that is the anong tawag na yan? The Rhines test or the Weber test. Okay, next natin we have your paracusis of Willis. So when we say your paracusis of Willis, ito ay nagkakaroon ng reddish to pinkish discoloration ng tympanic membrane. Remember that your tympanic membrane should be a gray pearl-like color. gray pearl-like color dapat ang normal color ng ating tympanic membrane. Pero kapag once na may paracusis of Willis, nagkakaroon ng discoloration, usually reddish to pinkish. Okay? So, pag nagkaroon ng reddish or pinkish discoloration, present na or may presence ng infection. That is your paracusis of Willis. Your Schwartz sign usually wait lang sorry, baliktad. Your Schwartz sign pala is the redness to pinkish. Okay, Schwartz sign, pinkish to reddish. Yan. Seen as redness. Your paracusis of Willis, better hearing in a noisy environment. Okay? So, usually, ang ginagawa dito sa paracusis of Willis natin, mas naririnig niya sa mas maingay na environment. That is the paracusis of Willis. Management natin, watch for signs of infection. Then, prophylaxis natin na antibiotic. Ito pala, management for stapedectomy, which is the management for your otosclerosis. So, anong gagawin kapag may stapedectomy? Watch for signs of infection. May redness, swelling, signs of infection. Fever, prophylaxis antibiotic to prevent infection. Bed rest lang dapat sa patient and do not blow nose for 2 weeks. Yan yung management natin for otosclerosis. Next natin, your Meniere's disease. Your Meniere's disease, usually, ito yung tinatawag natin na hydrolymphatic, your hydrolymphatic, endolymphatic pala. Your Meniere's disease, also known as endolymphatic hydrops. Okay. Dito na lang, hydrops. Okay, your endolymphatic hydrops. Usually, ang cause natin dyan is unknown. Okay? So, but we have a different theory na pinaniniwalaan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng Meniere's disease. Una, nagkakaroon ng degeneration of your cochlear cells. Bakit? In Meniere's disease, patients experiencing progressive hearing loss, vertigo, and tinnitus, these are the cardinal signs, which means, pag wala yung isa, hindi mo masasabi na Meniere's disease yan. So, dapat meron yung tatlo na yan para masabi natin na Meniere's disease yan. So, over time, the degeneration or damage to the cochlear cells disrupt the ability to process sounds normally and balance signals. Okay? The generation of cochlear hair cells, di ba sabi kong kanina, sa cochlea natin or doon sa may, sa tinatawag natin na semicircular canal, nandun si cochlea. Si cochlear natin, meron fluid doon, may mga cochlear hair cells tayo doon. Your cochlear hair cells, nagtatransmit nung impulse sa brain. And then yung fluid, yun naman yung nagmamaintain ng balance. Okay? Kaya ito makikita natin pag once na may degeneration sa cochlear hair cells natin. Next, your hypernatremia. Remember, sodium in, water follows. Ibig sabihin na kapag once na mataas ang sodium sa ating katawan, pwedeng magkaroon ng excessive accumulation of water. Ngayon, dadami ngayon yung ating fluid na makikita sa semicircular canal. So kapag once na dumami yung tubig na makikita natin doon sa ating semicircular canal, magkakaroon tayo ng problem sa may hearing natin. Kaya magkakaroon ng hearing loss. Okay, kaya nga sinasabi that can lead to endolymphatic hydrops. Ibig sabihin ng endolymphatic hydrops, excessive fluid build-up. Kaya nga pinaniniwalaan si hypernatremia na siya ay isa sa mga reason. Next natin yung endocrine disorder. Remember that your endocrine disorder responsible, nagkakaroon yan ng mga imbalances sa ating electrolytes. Okay, such as your Addison's and Cushing, your SIAD and your DI. Okay, next, stress. Bakit si stress natin? Because stress releases cortisol. And your cortisol, it triggers, or your cortisol activates your sympathetic nervous system, which can cause, okay, kapag na-activate si sympathetic nervous system natin, that can lead to vasoconstriction. Kaya nagkakaroon ng alteration in the fluid balance. Dadami na naman si tubig, that can lead to endolymphatic hydrops. And next, your allergic reaction. Allergic reaction, usually kapag allergic reaction yan, natitrigger si sympathetic nervous system natin. Nagkakaroon ng vasoconstriction that can lead to excessive fluid accumulation, can lead to endolymphatic hydrops. So your signs, we have your tinnitus, vertigo, and hearing loss. Pwede din magkaroon ng nausea, vomiting, nystagmus, and severe headache. But these are the cardinal signs. Hindi mo masasabing Meniere's disease yan kung wala ang isa sa kanila. So, dapat meron lahat para masabi mong Meniere's disease. Management natin, your first Sternberg diet. Anong ibig sabihin ng first Sternberg diet natin? Your first Sternberg, unrestricted tayo sa protein. So, pwedeng kumain si patient ng protein, pero dapat low sodium. Okay? Dapat naka-low sodium siya. Bakit? It attracts water that can lead to excessive fluid accumulation, can lead to endolymphatic hydrops. Next, bibigay tayo ng vasodilator, antihistamine, because can cause, allergic reaction. Bigyan mo ng antihistamine. May sympathetic nervous system na activate, vasoconstriction, bigyan mo ng vasodilator. And even mild sedative. And in case na during attack, vertigo, yan yung umiikot yung mundo niya. At risk si patient sa fall. Kaya, safety ang priority mo. So, ang mangyayari dito, kapag during attack na-experience ni patient yung vertigo, assume comfortable position. Anong position niya? Lie down on an affected side with the eyes turned towards to the affected ear. So, pahigain mo siya, and then dapat on an affected side, and then yung mata niya, dapat naka-turn siya towards the affected ear. Okay? So, ano ang ating surgical management? Your labyrinectomy. Labyrinectomy. Okay, your labyrinth. Sorry ko lang ng N yan. It's your labyrinthectomy. Labyrinthectomy. Okay, so labyrinthectomy is a surgical procedure where the inner ear or the labyrinth, okay, remove or destroy to treat severe vertigo. Okay, or your vestibulocochlear nerve. Yun yung tinatanggal natin. So these are your Meniere's or the different ear disorders.